All right. After a decent hiatus, because the spring movie season is always slow, we actually have stuff to talk about. So, finally, we got Captain America 4, The Return of Falcon, and a Stephen King movie, The Monkey. So, what do you guys want to review first? I think both of these are going to be quite the silly.
I think let's review Monkey first. Because obviously I didn't see that one. I know you guys both did, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys can talk about that. Probably it won't take as long as Captain America.
All right, quick synopsis. There's a Stephen King short story called The Monkey, and it's pretty much an animatronic toy monkey that every time it hits the drum, some like final destination-esque thing happens. Some terrible event that usually ends up in the death of someone nearby, and the caveat is that it only works if someone turns the dial on the back. So, as you can imagine, it's Stephen King, so it gets really messed up really fast. But
yeah.
Overall, though, yeah, the movie was made by the same guy who did Longlegs last year, and honestly, it was like quite fun in that it didn't take itself too seriously. So like the wild stuff happened and it was like looking at a train wreck. You just can't look away, but it's also just completely messed up.
Almost a funnier version of Final Fantasy. Or not Final Fantasy, Final Destination.
Yeah. Like a comedic. Some of the ones were wild, especially at the end.
Yeah.
Should we spoil it? What it was?
I'd probably say you're fine, just because of the type of movie it is. If it was something that was more major, when you're talking about something like Dune or something like that, then maybe. But in this case, no.
So pretty much at the resolution of the movie, main guy, who's played by Theo James, and his son are driving away with the monkey, and they pull up to an intersection, and a school bus drives up, and everybody in the school bus is like leaning out the window and like yelling and cheering and stuff. And then all of a sudden a truck drives by really close and just gets everybody who was leaning out the window. It was freaking wild.
It was hilarious is what it was.
Yeah. And stuff like that happened the whole movie. What were some of like the really wacky deaths in there?
For one, the chick jumping into the pool because it's electrocuted, and I'm sorry, it's not enough power going through that pool to cause her to explode into a mist of red.
Yeah. What I'm trying to remember, what caused the electrocution again? Was it like
it was the AC unit on the top of the building that fell off?
Yeah, there was like an air conditioning thing, and it just like fell off the thing,
and it just yeets her leg right into the dude's face.
Yeah, it gets super brutal, and there's just wacky stuff. They have after both parents are dead, like the movie has a really long prologue. Like it's a good chunk of the movie is the main characters as kids, and their parents both, like dad runs away, and then mom dies from monkey. Uncle and aunt both die from monkey. It's crazy.
Oh, and babysitter. The babysitter too.
Babysitter, yep. There's a scene where he's walking through his aunt's house because they're trying to sell it after she died. And he's just touring it with the real estate agent. The real estate agent opens the closet door, and a shotgun falls down and shoots her head off. Just like
it wasn't even her head. It like turned her to a just bloody mist.
Yeah, it was just like it's super over the top.
And yet he doesn't get touched by a single pellet.
Nope.
Standing right next to her. Yep. Mm-hmm.
physics.
But unironically, though, Theo James, he plays two people in this movie, and he actually does a really good job. Even though it's kind of like a silly movie, he actually is really good. So that was pretty fun. Seeing Elijah Wood in this was wild, but it was kind of funny. He was like a
freaking tight shirt.
Yeah, he's like a famous author, but he's also stepdad to the main character's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so yeah, overall I actually had a lot of fun with it.
And they never even brought them back. They just introduced them for like 2 seconds.
Oh, Elijah Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for more too, but yeah, it's virtually a cameo, honestly.
Yeah. It was still enjoyable though.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. It's kind of twisted, kind of wild, but also new tier list. So this time I wanted to base it off of a numerical rating. So we have a 9 through 10, an 8, a 6 through 7, a 4 through 5, and a 1 through 3. So I think this will help organize it a bit more. Not that last year's was bad. Last year's was still good, but
there was another horror slasher movie. It was Hard Eyes.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess we could review that too. I totally forgot about that one.
Which that one I found more enjoyable than Monkey, but
yeah, it also helped. I think it was just objectively a little better. Like it was more well written.
Fit a theme and it kept to it.
Yeah. Here, you do a quick synopsis of that one. The plot synopsis.
So, Hard Eyes, it's a movie about a killer, or in the sense, killers that track down couples during Valentine's and kill them. So it just turns into a very brutal slasher movie. And so the whole theme was that, and you have the two main people that aren't a couple, and basically in the process of getting murdered, or trying to get murdered, I guess, by the killers. They end up falling in love. So it's just like a little funny romantic slasher movie. And honestly, I think that one might start a little worse with the way it kills the one chick in the wine.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Receptor, whatever it is.
Yep. The movie opens up with a proposal, and then the guy who's proposing, he gets shot, right?
Yeah, so well, the cameraman's the first one to actually die.
Right, yeah.
And he gets stabbed through his camera with a machete right through his head.
Yeah.
And then the fiancé, the dude, gets shot with the crossbow. And then the one chick ends up running away. It did the little cliche factor of like she's running away, looking behind, and then she falls over. But in this sense, she doesn't get found immediately or immediately killed. She stays hidden for a second. Ends up getting shot in the foot with the crossbow. Honestly, the dude probably could have shot her in the process of her running away, but they needed something more for the movie. So she ends up making it to a wine factory. Ends up hiding in there. Getting the security guard killed there too. Because his quick draw is slower than piss. And then they kill her by squishing her inside of a wine machine.
Yeah, her idea is to hide in the thing that like smashes the grapes. So like you put all the grapes in a vat, and then it's a hydraulic press virtually. Hard Eyes realizes she's hiding in there, so he just boots on the machine. And oh gosh, yeah.
Yup. It was over the top on some of them, but
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah, there was a really good chemistry with the two protagonists, like trying to figure it out. The end gets really silly. They also break the fourth wall like 3 times because one of the detectives is Mia from Fast and Furious. And so they make a joke because her and her partner, they wrote the movie so that their characters' last names are Hobbs and Shaw.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was like, gosh dang it. What? We're really doing this.
It was just a fun, enjoyable slasher movie. When it actually came to a slasher movie, it did its job.
Yep. You had a Scooby-Doo reveal at the end. You had both the people survive at the end. It was actually better than I thought it was going to be. So, where do we want to put Monkey on the tier list? We'll put Monkey and we'll put Hard Eyes.
Monkey was just funny. Story-wise, it wasn't too bad, but
Would you go in like the 6 ballpark or like the 5 ballpark?
either a 5 or a 6. That's what I'm placing it as.
Okay.
Um,
Because I'd say Hard Eyes is for sure in the 6-7 ballpark.
yes, I would put that there.
Okay. We'll do that.
I'd probably put Monkey on 5, but that's just me.
Yeah, we can do
I
that.
don't know if you feel the same way.
I actually liked it, but I'd say that's fair. And because
I
we're
did
comparing it to another
enjoy it.
one.
But I would rather watch something like Companion or Hard Eyes over Monkey. Because Monkey is just one of those like one-time watch type deals.
Yeah. I still, to this day, have only seen Long Legs the once. But yeah. Monkey was fun. Companion was really fun.
And that it might change. I might put it back to 6. I don't know. We'll see.
For February movies, not bad, honestly. Like, we've had worse Februaries, I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. Well, should we jump into the big one, or do we want to do What Happened to My Country and then do the big one? Because I have a gripe. I have something to complain about.
All right, let's do the What Happened to My Country then.
All right, this is one of the worst things that has happened probably in my entire life. In the news recently, it has been revealed that the new Shrek movie, they reanimated everyone. And oh my gosh, we have it pulled up on screen right now. You guys see this atrocity?
Yeah, it's
Well,
really bad.
some people figure it out. It's the way his eyes are placed, the shadowing on his face. Because in old Shrek, he looks just depressed the whole time.
Well, also his nose is completely different.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a happy soul. Like, even that smile. I'm sorry, that smile, he's not happy.
Well, he's not supposed to be. He is a tragic character. That's the brilliance of Shrek.
Yeah. And with the newer animation, they made him look like he's...
It also looks more childish, whereas like Shrek is not supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Donkey.
See, you look at the picture on the left, dude looks like he's just done with life.
Yeah, it's great.
Like he wanted to be in a swamp, and that was good enough for him. The other one, it looks like he's just actually enjoying life to an extent.
I will say this, I definitely feel like from the trailer we got, it definitely gives the vibes of like they're trying to set up a new Shrek for a new generation. Because like they also like they wouldn't hire Zendaya. They weren't planning on doing some more stuff with his daughter, like, as a character and everything like that. Like, it's gonna be diving into this big like universe again and everything because they can. So
Also, in Shrek 3 and 4, doesn't he have like a bunch of kids? Doesn't he
He
have
has,
like
Yes, he has 3.
yeah, it's like 3 or 4, I think.
where are the other two?
If I had to
Oh.
guess, it's probably just because they like are old enough or something. I guess I don't know,
I
but
thought they were triplets.
were
Yeah,
they?
they are.
Yeah. Because that was the whole point of the third movie is that all 3 kids are having the birthday at the same time, and like he wants his like normal life back again or whatever.
Also, look how they current date one of the kids, the Zendaya one.
Yeah, they definitely couldn't date.
Oh my gosh. And they destroyed Fiona. Fiona might be the worst thing to happen as far as the reanimation. Look at this.
Yeah, Fiona looks pretty bad.
Especially because it's Cameron Diaz. Like, how dare you? You know? It's a
Yeah.
betrayal.
Somebody had made a point with the animation style. The reason the old animation style worked is because it's supposed to be making fun of fairy tales. And it has this weird little, almost fakeish art style in the background. Like you go look at the buildings and stuff like that, and it just looks entirely fake because it's supposed to be making fun of it, right?
Yep.
Like you look at those houses in the back on both of them. I'd prefer the one on the left. Even for the amount of detail that is in it. The one on the right just looks like almost older and less care for it.
Yeah, it is a travesty what they're doing. I don't
Well, I will say
don't-
this. We did bully one company into fixing a terribly designed character, so maybe we can do it again.
And this is not set for release until December of 26. We have over a year and a half to Sonic this thing.
No, we need to.
So, I don't know.
I will also say, realistically, I think if you ask a majority of people, or well, I guess I'll ask you guys this: do you guys like the Shrek movies after the second one? Really?
Not really.
No, I also don't even remember them that well.
Yeah, I at least had seen Shrek 1 and 2 a decent amount. I don't really care for Shrek 3 or 4, and I've seen them maybe once each.
Yeah, same.
So it's kind of one of those things where I know some people are like, "Oh, it sucks that they're doing this to Shrek." I wasn't planning on ever doing a full Shrek, watching all 5 movies anyways. Once this one comes out, I'll just stick to watching 1 and 2 because those are actually funny and enjoyable. Whereas the rest of them, I think, progressively have gotten worse and worse.
It's like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, like the later you go, the worse the movie get.
Because I would say a good change on animation style was actually the Puss in Boots movie.
Yeah, they did.
Because they actually tried to do a good animation style with it. And since it was its own movie, they could get away with it.
I mean, kind of. They did it. It I think is a sequel to the other Puss in Boots movie that came out with Humpty Dumpty. It's just that I don't think a lot of people cared for that movie. So it's also Puss in Boots. He's a smaller character. It's not as big of a risk, a jump, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, but I my problem with that one was the same problem I had with the Spider-Verse ones. Is it's just too video gamey for me. It's a little intense, but
Yeah, that's fair. I'm blaming on that.
But then again, like they didn't change anything for Spider-Verse. That it started one way and stayed the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a travesty. And we've done it before, like Brian said, so maybe we can cause enough of a ruckus to make them fix it.
We get not only that, but a bunch of other trailers for other movies, and it's just like, can we stop ruining things?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a live action Train Your Dragon?
Yep.
Yep.
I read something recently that apparently it is going to be a shot for shot remake, which only adds to the more like pointless argument of it.
Yeah.
Like why, especially if you're just doing shot for shot.
Well, especially in the sense that, like, I don't think there's been a live action adaptation of a movie yet that's gotten anywhere close to what the original has been. So I
No.
don't know what
It's
they're
because
thinking is going to change.
animated movies like these, part of the reason they're so good is because of the animation in them. Because of the way that you can show emotions and draw out things that you just can't do without CGI. And CGI isn't always the best option to try and make something look more clean in a way for like movements and stuff like that.
I also think they just always get the casting wrong.
Yes.
And then, so the casting's always wrong.
The voice acting is like a huge part of it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And then also, I think because of the fact that there's always these big cult followings along with all these animated movies, like, like Lion King, Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, um, trying to think of some others, but that's really all that's coming to my head right now. Like, because you get this cult following along those things, it just they just see money and they are like, all right, well, let's just get this out so that way that cult following is money coming in. So it's never actually about like trying to actually get a good adaptation for it. It's just trying to get something out so that way people go see it.
And which it's like, I hate that this is like their move to double down on this, because the whole point of an animated movie is you can do a lot and make it fairly cheap because you're saving a lot of money in some departments.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, we'll just do it twice because people like the story, so we'll just profit off the story again. And yeah, it's unfortunate, and I have yet to see one where I was like, you know what, I'm glad they did that.
Well, like going back to the voice thing, they reshot all of Mike Myers' voice for Shrek 1. Because he had originally done it in like a normal generic voice, and then he changed it to the British sarcastic dick voice. And that's what we ended up with.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a good voice to fit it. You can't just slot people in.
I think that's gonna manifest itself deeply in the new How to Train Your Dragon, because Jay Baruchel has like one of the most unique voices ever. So swapping that out is gonna be rough. Because obviously they have Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
I don't think people are gonna be too fond of the new live action remake.
Even with the fact that they have Gerard Butler, I think like a lot of the characters in How to Train Your Dragon just look so unique or weird, even. Like they have very weird.
Yeah, they're Vikings.
Yeah.
Because Celtic Viking art style was big and fat, but also muscly in a way.
Yeah, but people, like what I was saying is like people, like all the people that they've cast already look super like Hollywoody, like Instagram, like, model type thing, right? Where they're like constantly got to make sure they look perfect at all times so they can take their photo, etc. And obviously you can do that with like makeup and everything like that, but like there's still just some aspects of the characters in the animated show that just look like, they don't look perfect. They don't look like they're, models or anything like that. And so that's the other problem I have with live action stuff is like there's only so far that like makeup and stuff like that can go. And so it's like at what point do they start CGIing stuff to make it look better, which then just makes things look bad actually. And also, how do you make a character actually look somewhat like their animated like version?
You can't.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's an issue.
Again, another thing that like is a huge advantage of animated movies is like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
As far as characters go, you can make them as wacky or as fun or as normal as you want.
See, and
So.
you say that, but then you go look at like Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Jones might be one of the best looking CGI characters in existence.
Yeah, and luckily that's not even a remake. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to make something fit if you wanted to make it look realistic. But you have to start new. You can't base it off of anything else.
Right.
Because
that
it
was
has to be a
also-
first impression type deal, not a remake.
That was also, I think, a different time period for movies. I feel like right now we're getting the vibe of movies where it's like, okay, we got to rush to get them out, so CGI looks bad. You know, like just visuals look bad in general. Script is bad. Like,
Yeah.
I think when that movie came out, like when Pirates of the Caribbean 2 came out, I think that was when they actually were still trying to really build something that people enjoyed. And now they're just like, well, we can get this movie out and people will go see it because it's got the name of a movie that they went and saw as a child.
Well, not only that, the actual CGI that they used during Pirates, those were the last few years that they actually used the type of CGI that they had.
Yeah.
Because it became cheaper to use current CGI.
Yeah.
I would prefer that you pay more for a better quality because I feel like there's a lot of people that would care for the better quality.
Yeah, but it's not our budget, it's their budget. They don't care about our opinion for it.
Well, you know.
And even then, movies are super expensive and they're not profiting. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think they're afraid to throw money at stuff. They just throw money at the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Which
I mean-
we're about to review a movie that was reshot 3 times and cost upwards
Yeah.
of $350 million to make.
And
But-
it took 2 weeks to not even accumulate, not even close to half.
No. Oh, did you? I'll get into this. Well, do you guys want to get to that then?
I think we're good. Probably.
Yeah, I'm
The-
done.
Story is they destroyed Shrek. And the only way we're going to remedy this is if we do a Sonic-esque revolt. So, we shall see. But yeah, they destroyed Shrek. This is on audio, so go look it up. Go look up what Shrek 5 first trailer. Go look that up. It's crazy. The MCU is back. Boys, we are so back.
Captain America, Black Falcon.
Captain America Black Falcon 4 The Return of Hulk. That is the actual title of the movie.
Well, actually, the title of the movie should be The Incredible Hulk 2 with Captain America, Black Falcon.
Yep, and no Ed Norton
Yep.
in sight. Yep. So, I almost don't even want to do a summary. Because it's...
I think
It's-
we do need to do it, though.
Alright,
You
fine.
have to, and I don't care to spoil it because I'm sorry. That
Yeah.
thing is an
This
atrocity.
is a spoiler review for Captain America 4.
It's also been
Uh,
a couple of weeks, so like people that really wanted to see it
Yeah.
probably have seen it.
So, if you remember the 2008 Hulk movie, there was a professor who was being set up to be the comic book villain, the Leader, which is a Hulk villain. Nobody remembers that movie because it was, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
2008?
Yeah.
You have the Leader is the villain now, 15 years later, in the MCU. And he is using, what is it? Like, it's not telekinesis, it's, he's just able to control people's minds.
Yeah, through technology, basically.
Brainwash, yeah. So
It's
he-
basically the villain from Incredibles 2,
yes.
where like uses
Yeah.
technology to control people for a little bit, and then they're like, I don't remember what happened.
And is controlling people to try and kill the president, who is Harrison Ford. And so Captain America, who is now Falcon, I guess, instead of Bucky, is trying to figure out what's going on and trying to stop the leader. So, which do they even say that it's the leader in the movie?
No, they never.
That's what it is in the comics. In the comics, it's the leader is his name, but
I don't think they ever name drop him,
which is weird.
Yeah, basically the leader ends up using this technology to brainwash one of Captain America's friends into almost killing the president. And then because of that, Captain America's like, all right, time to get involved and try to save him because my black friend is in prison and I want to try and help him.
Yep. It's 2 hours. Like, it's right at the 2 hour mark.
Felt way longer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was about 20 minutes too long, I think, for what they were doing. But, yeah. We got some cameos. We got some Giancarlo Esposito is in it for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Willow from the 1988 movie Willow is in this movie. We got those cameos. It's pretty neat.
You forgot about the biggest cameo at the very end there.
Oh,
We get Liv Tyler.
yeah, Liv
for half a
Tyler.
second.
Yeah.
Which listen,
We got to bring her back.
yeah, I'm always happy to see Liv Tyler, even if it is just for half a second. But
Unironically, the best part of the movie is when Liv Tyler shows up. So, which, sorry, spoilers.
yeah,
You could tell she was going to show up at some point.
Yes.
yeah,
It's like a scene where she has like a phone call with Harrison Ford briefly, but yeah.
yeah. Which it's because they recast what's his name, like the main.
Well, Ross is in a couple other Marvel movies. He's been recast every time.
Has he been recast every single time? I thought the actor that they had for like Civil War was like a consistent. Like he was a little more consistent.
The dude that plays Abomination?
Ross is appears in a few MCU movies. He's just it's just a different actor every time.
Yes.
So because he's in Incredible Hulk, but it's not Harrison Ford, it's a different guy.
Yeah, he's the same one in each one except for in this movie specifically. Yeah, it's always been sorry, I'm trying to find.
I don't think it's Mark Strong. I can't remember the guy's name.
William Hurt apparently played Ross in the 2008 Hulk.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think he was
Infinity War and Endgame and Black Widow. It's still him.
Yeah, I think it's been
It was actually William Hurt, and then
consistently until he died in like this in 2022. I think.
Oh, the actor died?
Yes.
Yeah. William Hurt died on March 13th, 2022.
I figured they recast him just because they needed someone to get people to show up to this.
No, I remember hearing that he passed away.
Okay, gotcha. And, like, credit to Harrison Ford, he actually tried to do something with this role. Like, kind of.
That's because Indiana Jones existed beforehand.
Yeah, and that was a massive... Which, unfortunately for Harrison Ford, that and this bombed.
It's a terrible way to end your career, especially at the end of your life.
Here's the thing. I don't think Harrison Ford cares. He's just doing this to get paychecks.
Yep. Which, quick little statistic, the second week, so like you have a first weekend box office numbers, right? The second weekend, it was an 86% drop off. So not only did people not watch it again, but nobody told their friends. Because, like, in order for a movie to have legs, a lot of it is based on word of mouth. Like, one of a really cool phenomena is Oppenheimer. People saw it, they saw it again, and then they told people. So it actually had like a crazy consistent streak and ended at like 900 something million over the course of the time it was in theaters.
That was also what Nolan movie. So
it is a Nolan movie, yeah.
there's that too. But
it's a biopic though. Like biopics don't make 900 million. That's just not a thing.
Yeah, people don't really.
It's
a lot of
true,
people
true.
don't care for biopics.
Yeah, that's why. That's just a bigger testament to that movie. But so I'm trying to think. Besides Liv Tyler, is there anything good about this movie?
What are you talking about? They included a Mexican guy as the sidekick to the black dude.
Oh yes. So now that he's Captain America, which we'll get into why I don't think he's Captain America, they need a new Falcon. So they would apparently Falcon is like Robin in Batman, where it's just a title, like a role. It's not tied to any like person. So Falcon is a new, just random like special ops military guy. And yeah, so there's a new Falcon, but I want to get into why I don't think, or I personally don't buy Sam Wilson as Captain America. Reason number one, they were setting up Bucky for like the first 3 phases of the MCU, so it was a little bit of a bait and switch. Because you remember in Captain America 1 when he picks up the shield on the train?
Yes.
Infinity War. You have, and in Civil War, you have like conversations between Bucky and Steve Rogers. That's like all definitely pointing to this happening. And it just never. And then they do a massive switch because of the TV show, which we can get into if you want. But
yeah, well, also I think it's
not try and remember that show.
Yeah, me neither.
I also think it's a better like, because I mean the whole point of Bucky's character in the MCU is that he was like he was a tragedy character, right? Like he was he's taken over by Hydra, then they wiped his memory and like forced him to go out being a killing machine basically, and then he spent all of his life trying to like kind of repent and forget that and everything like that, and finally he does, but then they just
how does he do you remember?
He becomes
how
a
does he do that?
congressman.
No, before how does he get cleansed of the brainwash?
Oh yeah, well doesn't he go to Wakanda?
He becomes a farmer in Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because writing is great in the MCU.
Yeah, and then after that they're like, oh, now he's going to be a politician, which I'm sorry, but if you wanted to try and like do right for the wrongs you did, I don't know if being a politician is the right way to be doing that, but
not only that, people are going to vote for him after he had like killed dozens and dozens of citizens in the second Captain America movie, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yep. He was like bombing cars and like it's like, okay, cool.
They just haven't been helping their situation at all.
Yeah.
Ever since Endgame.
So, yeah, that's kind of reason number one is they were setting up Bucky, and then they just kind of switched it. Reason number two is it has nothing to do with the serum. It has everything to do with the character, their arc, and their heart. Like, you have ended the setup. Like, I would be able to buy Sam Wilson if they set it up as such. In the first Captain America movie, you had him like, he's this tiny little guy, but he's standing up to people at the bar. He's jumping on a grenade. He's doing all this stuff, and that's why he was chosen to even take the serum in the first place. Like, all of that makes him Captain America. There is none of that for Sam Wilson. In fact, it's the other direction. You have that TV show where he's defending terrorism. Like, there's actual lines in the movie where he's like, hey, don't call them terrorists. Or let's think about what they're doing, and maybe they have reasons. And like, so defending terrorists, it's like the most hateful show ever. That is their setup. And we're supposed to buy that he's Captain America. On top of the fact, and this is a precedent that I've hated in the MCU since 2017, is pretty much through the first Iron Man movie all the way through Age of Ultron. The entire premise was, hey, Iron Man is the only person who can be Iron Man, because if you just give anybody Stark tech, the world is going to end. It's actually the plot of the second Avengers movie and Civil War to a lesser degree. And in 2017, they have that first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. All of that is out the window. Completely gone. Why? Because they give Spider-Man as Iron Man. I hated that plot thread where they're like, give him a Stark suit, Iron Man as Spider-Man, and then they've just kept going with that this whole time. They continue that in this movie. Everything except for his wings, which are Wakanda, which is kind of like Stark tech, is Stark tech. So he's just Iron Man.
Yeah.
So what's the point in Iron Man if everybody is Iron Man?
Well, not only is he, like, because you could make the argument, like, obviously Captain America himself, like, when it was Steve Rogers, he didn't have all that, like, fancy nanotechnology suits and everything like that. But yeah, like with Falcon, or, you know, with the Sam Wilson Captain America, it's like, literally, his suit is nanotechnology and or vibranium wings.
And the drone.
And, yeah, he has got the drone now, and then he's got like guns and, like, you know, other aspects of the suit that like come off and are acting like weapons and everything like that. It's like, yeah, you quite literally are just Iron Man. This time you're just flying around with Captain America's shield, though.
Which he doesn't need, by the way. They completely invalidate the use of the shield in this movie because he has the wings.
Yeah, he has the vibranium.
Yeah.
It's a logical fallacy that they set up with Spider-Man that sucks, and they shouldn't have done it. And now it's just the thing. Which you could say, well, there was Rhodey, which they also ruined that in the TV shows. But he was also with Iron Man from the beginning, and his suit didn't have all of the same tech. It had like some, but it was still pretty nerfed comparatively.
Well, also, it never upgraded with like everybody else. Like, his always stayed like the same suit that Tony made in the second movie, just basic, like, you know, with a machine gun on it and like missiles and everything.
And it can
like
fly.
That. Yeah. Whereas like in like Avengers Endgame, you have Tony, or like Avengers Endgame Infinity War, you have Tony like creating weapons that are just like forming out of his suit, and like, you know, pinning Thanos' hand to the ground and other stuff like that. Like, it's got a little bit more to it than just like what Rhodey's suit has. Also, that I also think that's not as bad, because that's actually just that's just Rhodey's character, right? Like, that, you know, that is what War Machine is. It's just Iron Man kind of, but just a little more simplistic. Whereas like Falcon,
he's a sidekick.
Yeah, well, also, Falcon has never been Iron Man. So now when Falcon feels like Iron Man, it doesn't fit the character at all. It feels out of place.
Well, there's also one other factor when you can tell the actor doesn't care to play the character that they're hired for. And, you know, he also states that, you know, Captain America doesn't represent America.
Yeah, that did not help.
Yeah, that did not help for sure. I think he was...
Even if it was a Freudian slip, that's not a good Freudian slip.
Yeah.
So
I think he was super excited to play Captain America, because for him now, he's the...
Yeah, he's going to be... I guarantee you, he's going to be the lead in Avengers next year. Guaranteed. Yeah. So with all of this in mind, this movie also just fell victim to the same thing that's been happening since Endgame, which is terrible dialogue writing. It is just an apocalypse right now. There's a lot of exposition. So instead of like a character saying things as if they were in character, the character just says the plot like they're reading it off Spark Notes. It's like, I don't know that any human would talk like that. It's like, what is happening? It's like a table read. And the combat, like the choreography, is just slow. Like the hand-to-hand combat sucks. It's like maybe something happened with either whoever choreographed it or the stunt people. Just it all was way slower than it used to be. They're not into it. It just it makes it really hard to get into a movie when it doesn't feel like any of the other ones.
If you go back to the scene with Iron Man fighting Hulk, that scene is probably better than the entire Captain America movie. Because not only has Tony Stark created a suit to fight Hulk, Bruce helped him with it because he knew, like, hey, I might get pissed off sometimes. So you have this whole fight where they're breaking the entire city, and then you get one of the funniest scenes, which is Tony sitting there going, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, as he's punching the living crap out of Hulk. Like, I would take that any day. Because a Hulk is angry. They're supposed to be angry. They break everything in sight. Now they've just turned every Hulk in every movie into something that's just like, okay, I'm here. I'm not this invincible thing anymore.
Yeah, they've become a punching bag to be like, oh, look how strong this other character is because they're fighting Hulk.
Yeah.
But honestly, another big complaint I have with this movie is the fact that it can't keep the consistency from the show. Because the whole point of the show was that he didn't feel like he was worthy of being Captain America. Which, like, is true, but, you know, that's another...
Now all of a sudden he is.
Well, no, like, at the end of the show, they're like he's, you know, finally convinced that maybe Steve wasn't entirely wrong. And so, like, he's like, okay, like, you know, maybe this can work. Maybe this can be Captain America. Like, I can be Captain America and everything like that. But then in this show, or in this movie, he's, like, still at times like, I don't know if I can be Captain America. It's like, wasn't that was the whole point of the show previously?
Yep.
Is you coming to terms with the fact that you are Captain America and, like, and the responsibility that comes with that. So instead of, like, whining about it, like, I don't know, why don't you try to, like, get shit done?
It's just why they brought Bucky back for a couple scenes. They're gonna make him Captain America.
I wish. No, they're not gonna do that. I also feel that scene felt like it was done in reshoots.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, there are 2 more MCU movies this year. If Captain America 4 isn't the worst of the 3, then we are in trouble. We are in big trouble.
Well, you have Thunderbolts, a movie
Thunderbolts
of
and
characters
Fantastic
that
Four.
don't even belong to Thunderbolts.
Yep. All
I
right.
think Thunderbolts will probably be worse than this.
Oh man, that they are in trouble if that's the case. They cannot afford that.
But hey,
if that
we get Woman Taskmaster back.
that's true. Taskmistress.
I don't think Taskmaster's like, I don't think it's actually in the movie.
You guys know Mahler?
Yeah.
He's a YouTuber. Yeah. He called her task manager.
Oh,
Like on your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here's this. This will be fun. Let's do a post Endgame rapid fire. Would you rather? You ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather watch Captain America 4 or Black Widow?
ooh.
I think probably Black Widow.
I'd have to say Black Widow.
Okay, I'm actually going to agree there, and I don't care for that movie at all.
Yeah, I don't care for it either, but I can at least, like, there's at least a little more hot women in skin tight clothes in that movie.
Oh gosh, dang it!
As well as I didn't mind David Harbour in that movie. He was at least funny.
Yeah,
I feel like he actually fits the role quite a bit. It might have not been the best pick, but still
Okay.
fits.
Okay, well, now I have a follow-up question. Would you guys rather watch Eternals or Captain America 4?
oh man,
Those are
I
both
know.
so bad.
Yeah.
Captain America 4, but not by much.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
think it's shorter, so I think I'm sparing myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Isn't Eternals like north of 2 hours?
Maybe.
I think so.
I can look it up.
Eternals is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh God, yeah. Give me freaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Captain America 4 or Shang-Chi.
I'd rather watch Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. All right.
The fighting choreography in Shang-Chi was at least like somewhat entertaining in my
Art
opinion.
style was actually pretty cool as well.
Captain America 4 or Thor 4?
I'm gonna say Captain America.
Really?
I hate Thor 4. The screaming goats really pisses me off. Also, the fact that we get one of my favorite actors of all time. Actually, two of my favorite actors of all time, and they still somehow find a way to fuck that movie up.
Well, it's because they bring one of the greatest characters in all of existence into existence to remove him from existence. And not only that, I feel like Christian Bale fit that role. Fantastic.
Yeah, Christian Bale is like an actual shining spot in that movie, in my opinion. The only downside is that the movie doesn't know what to do with him.
Yep. With all that said, I'm still taking Thor 4.
I'm doing Thor 4.
Which only goes to show how bad Captain America 4 is, but yeah, we could go into Thor 4 for a long time. They took Christian Bale and Russell Crowe and ruined it. It's so sad.
Well, I will say this as well. Thor 4 is, let's see, how long is...
So it's a character assassination of Thor. It's the reason he's not coming back to the character.
Yeah, that's also 2 hours long. So you're not, like, the time-wise...
They're comparable.
The same, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, all right. Captain America 4 or Ant-Man 3?
I think I'm still gonna say Captain America. I hated Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah, I'm doing Captain America 4.
I might have to as well. I think it's shorter. I think it's 2 hours or
and I don't need to watch as a giant head with little tiny ass cheeks is behind him. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't need to see that ever again.
I also
Please no.
I hate his daughter in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Like her sitting there being like, we gotta try and help people that like disappeared in the blip. They're like getting...
She's a third-day feminist when she was just like a totally normal run-of-the-mill daughter character in the other movies.
Yeah. Well, and then she's like, oh, they're getting over-policed and stuff because they just don't have a home.
I remember that. She's a Antifa member, remember?
Yeah.
She's like actually a member of Antifa in that movie. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, if I'm choosing Cap 4.
This next one should be easy. Captain America 4 or Multiverse of Madness?
I think it's still probably Captain America
Cap 4. Oh gosh, this is the easiest one to me.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness is so bad too.
I forgot that movie existed.
Yeah, I kind of did for a second too. Can we go back like 10 seconds to when I didn't remember that movie actually?
Yeah.
Please.
Oh man, I didn't even see Marvels.
No, I didn't either.
So,
Marvels?
yeah, the second Captain Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess credit where it's due. It's not the worst thing since Endgame, but not by much. Also, we didn't even get to Willow. It's not actually Willow. Harrison Ford has a head of security. She's a former Black Widow, but she's 4'8", and there's a scene where there's like a hallway full of special ops soldiers, all armed to the teeth and have body armor, and her without a gun or body armor kills everybody. So there's a good amount of suspension of disbelief in this movie.
She looks like 2 feet tall the entire time. It's
yeah. I think the actress is 4'8". I could check that, but yeah, she's.
It literally looks like the meme of just. It has the caption of me at 3 a.m. standing in my parents' doorway, going, I threw up.
I grew up. Yeah.
Like, she's just standing there. And it doesn't look right.
Okay, she's 5'2", so not 4'8", but 5'2".
They make her look like that in the movie.
Yeah, it's so that was really funny. Me and my brother audibly laughed when Harrison Ford said she was the head of security, and a couple people in the theater turned and looked at us like they were so mad because we just couldn't take it. It was so funny.
Well, remember that person in our theater that, like, when Sebastian Stan walked in, they're like, oh, "It's Bucky."
Yeah,
Like,
they were.
Yeah, no fucking shit, dumbass.
And the rest of us just started laughing at him.
Imagine that, and that's where we're at. Is we're excited for a Bucky cameo. You know how bad the movie is when that happens.
Well,
Yeah.
that excitement could have gone one of two ways. Either they think that Captain America is one of the greatest movies in existence, so when they see Bucky appear, they're not expecting it. Then there's the other factor where they're like, oh, it's Bucky. That's the only good thing out of this movie.
Well, do you guys think this is a fair spot in the tier list?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Would you rather watch Captain America 4 or Argyle?
Captain America 4.
That's honestly, that's fair. I think Argyle actually might just be the worst movie of all time.
Yeah.
At least that
probably.
I've seen.
I should add another thing to this, and even though it came out last year, just chuck it on here still.
I think it should be on there for a frame of reference.
If it's from 0 to 0.9.
Yeah, but that's that's just where Argyle is at all times, dude. Also, at this point, it's just a running bit in the podcast, so I think we just gotta keep on it.
Yeah, they have 2 more movies this year, and you know what I was thinking of the other day is, even though they know for a fact that the multiverse thing did not work out, they're still gonna do it because they have to bring Fantastic Four into the 616 somehow. Mm-hmm. They have to. They know something's unpopular, and they're doubling down anyways. So
yeah,
good old MCU.
They just need to quit where they're at right now. Accept the fact that the movies they have made were already made. Release them if you want to try and get some of the money back, I guess. And just restart with something else.
Is unfortunate. But at least we'll always have the first 2 phases of the MCU. Well, any other thoughts on Captain 4?
Not that
I'm gonna have fun naming this episode. So
it has to be Captain Monkey. I'm sorry.
We'll see.
No, it has to be Captain Monkey. You have to accept the fact that we have a form of freedom of speech. All right.
All right. Fine.
And
fine.
we will use it to the full extent.
Captain Monkey, it is. Gosh dang it. Well, we got good stuff coming down the pike. At least March is actually lined up pretty good. So
yeah,
I look forward to some of the. Because here's the thing, I'd much rather review something that's good. It's more fun.
Yeah.
That's unless you have something as bad as like Argyle.
Yeah, where you can just riff and meme off it.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes stuff is laughably bad, and that is what it is. But if you do need just absolutely something that's new, the Gorge on Apple is okay. I maybe later I'll do a full review. It's just okay.
Or extended editions are always there, so you can always just watch those.
Yeah, just watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, at least it'll always make you happy.
Well, makes me sad, but they're great movies, so
yeah.
See, that's another thing. Those movies took how many years? Whereas nowadays it would probably take them a year or 2 to make it, and it would not have the same effect.
Yep. Well, I think we'll you guys good to wrap it up there? Good. But yeah, Captain America Monkey.